Topkapi Palace Museum, Istanbul, Turkey. Among the gilded daggers and precious jewels on display here, there are a number of objects that allegedly date to biblical times. These include a sword, supposedly used by King David to kill the giant Goliath, hairs from the beard of the Prophet Muhammad, and a wooden rod, which is claimed to be the actual staff of Moses.
This palace used to be the residence of an Ottoman sultan. And he was given many precious gifts over the years. And one of the things that evidently he was given was the staff of Moses. The staff of Moses is mentioned in association with Moses in the book of Exodus. And the first time that we hear about it, it seems to just be a walking stick. But as time goes by in the story of Exodus, it really seems kind of like a magic wand.
Could the wooden rod on display in the Topkapi Museum be the actual staff of Moses? As incredible as it sounds, many people believe the answer is yes. Which makes the claim even more extraordinary because, according to biblical tradition, the staff of Moses was imbued with miraculous powers.
The staff of Moses first is used in Exodus chapter 7 when Moses confronts Pharaoh about letting the Israelites go. He casts down his staff. It turns into a serpent. The second instance it's used is when we have the 10 plagues. And in the first of these plagues, Moses uses the tip of his staff dipped into the Nile and turns the Nile into a red color like blood.
But perhaps the most awesome display of the staff's divine force occurs in Exodus 14, when Moses raises the rod above his head and parts the Red Sea.
In the Exodus narrative, the Israelites are there at the Red Sea. They're being chased by the Egyptians. And God basically says, Moses, take your staff, hold it over the waters, and the waters will part. And the minute that the Israelites start walking, the waters of the Red Sea part. The minute the Egyptians come after them, the waters of the Red Sea collapse upon them.
Is it possible that the unassuming wooden rod displayed in the Topkapi Museum is the same staff that Moses used to free the Israelites? Well, it may come as no surprise that many experts doubt its authenticity.
It is simply not possible to follow the provenance of the staff of Moses. And the staff that is in the museum in Istanbul, there's just no way of authenticating this as the staff of Moses. All we have is legend and tradition.
One real mystery is that we don't know what happens to the staff after the end of Moses. One story is that it gets passed down through the Davidic line. King David has the staff. He uses it as a scepter, and at that point, we kind of lose sight of it.
If it's true that the mystical artifact disappeared from history, then what happened to it? Author and relic hunter Graham Phillips has a theory. He's been researching the staff of Moses for decades. And according to his research, there's a wooden rod in the Birmingham Museum in England that was said to be found in the ancient tomb where Moses was supposedly laid to rest.
We're told that Moses was buried at a place called Petra. So, somewhere in Petra, in this valley, there's something there called the Snake Monument, and it dates from the right time, from Moses' period, and in the middle of the 19th century, a couple of archaeologists went there, excavated a cave beneath it, and believed that they had found the tomb of Moses. The problem was there was no body in it. It had been robbed at some point. But there was all covered in dust and debris, a staff. Eventually, this staff ended up in the Birmingham Museum. And there, in this glass case, was this staff exactly as described by these guys who'd found it. Dark-coloured, about 4 feet long, with Egyptian hieroglyphics in white on them. I couldn't believe it.
According to the Bible, before Moses became a Hebrew leader, he was a prince of Egypt. And the hieroglyphics on the Birmingham Museum staff says it belonged to a member of the royal Egyptian court named Thutmose, a name that bears an undeniable similarity to the legendary prophet Moses.
Says in Egyptian hieroglyphics on this staff, this belongs to Thutmose. So you've got a person whose name could have been Moses, who had been a prince in Egypt. I mean, if that's not Moses' staff, I don't know what is.